Yeah, we're live. Yeah, we know. It's cool. We're just not going to do anything.
We
Hello.
are back.
Welcome back to Late Night Live. I am Forrest at USA UFC, your host, Forrest Londa. If you want to know my last name, you can dox me. That's fine. With me is Quinn. Quinn, you get to say your last name this week.
Quinn Besna. Q Besla.
Besna.
Yeah, there you go. There you have it.
I still
Bes-
didn't know that. Besna.
yeah,
At QBez11, Quinn is back. We are back. It has been almost a month since our last show.
that's
And that
crazy.
that is inconsistent and unacceptable. We apologize, Quinn, most of all. Um, but yeah,
It's
it's
my
it's great to
fault.
be back. Yeah, we had a little trip to Liverpool in between what turned out to be a pretty busy January. Um, so yeah, we had a trip to Liverpool. We got to go to Goodison one more time. Quinn, do you want to talk about your experience first? Because you had a much more unique experience than I did for your match.
I mean, it just was great to be back. I did have a much more unique experience. I was only in Liverpool for a total of 48 hours, so it was a quick trip, but yeah, just so thankful to be back. It feels surreal that more than likely is the last time that I watched Game of Goodison Park. Unless there's some miracle in April, but more than likely not. Yeah, getting to photograph the game, just reconnect with some people and staff, and it just was so great. And obviously, we got to hang, got to see other friends before and after the game. But man, it just feels like being back home. I don't know, even being in the media room, getting to catch up with people was really sweet. It was a really sweet gift that that they did not have to let me come and shoot the game. They could have just said, "Hey, no, sorry, go sit in a seat like everybody else." But
Mm-hmm.
so yeah,
Would have been
just
more
super.
appropriate.
Yeah, yes. So you say. Um, but yeah, it was great to be there. I felt like a little kid, as most people do. I feel like in our shoes, we get to go over just
Yeah, it's
Christmas
really true.
morning,
Mm-hmm.
like you get all excited about going, and then you're there, and it's just like, man, even though we lost, it was at the Villa game. It still was just, it was so great. So great. I mean, yeah, wish I could be back there every week. I feel like the last 3 weeks I've been like, man, I missed watching Everton. And then you're there, you get a taste of it live, and then we start winning games, and it's like, yes, we're back.
We're back, baby. Yeah, it's a really good way to put it. It's kind of like yeah, it's like being a kid before Christmas, especially when it's the night before game or even like the day of. So that Villa game, I was there for Villa and I was there for Spurs. That Villa game was a night game. You wake up in the morning and I'm just like, what? Oh well, you know what? I flew in that day. Regardless, I get into Liverpool that day, and it's like, what am I going to do with my day now? Like I've got all this time. Like I didn't get to my hostel probably till like noon.
Well,
So
yeah, nooner one.
and my hostel was right by Goodison, so it wasn't like I was far away at all. I could have just gone to a pub and hung out, but obviously was waiting for our mate Danny to show up and to see Quinn. Get some lunch in town. I almost took a nap and I didn't. Gosh, I'm recollecting that first day because it was pretty hazy. I was pretty much running on adrenaline the whole day.
We got lunch,
Um,
then we walked down to Bramley Moor.
yeah, we walked down to Bramley Moor, took some nice pictures. Yeah, I can't believe that all happened on no sleep for
One
36
day.
hours for both of us. Yeah, it was crazy.
Well,
Yep. Yeah, and the match. I mean, I sat in the lower Gladys like I typically do for the Villa match. It was great. Even though we lost, it was just good to be with my mates that I have there and that I've been able to make. Glad that Quinn was finally able to be at the same match as me. I don't really count this as us watching a match together though, so she will have to find a way to make that up to me. No, I'm really happy and excited for her, for herself and her professional journey, and just in general, being an Evertonian, her getting to photograph the game again. It's so cool the connection that American Evertonians have with the club. Uh, I see this gentleman here, Bill Kimbrough, American fan for 37 years. Bill, you're just, 37 years younger. That's all that matters. It's just cool how much this club can really mean to people. It seemed while we were over that there were so many other Americans that went over, and just in general, it seems like Americans seem to have a really nice connection with Everton and with the city of Liverpool in general. Um, just about all the Americans I've ever met who are Everton fans have always been fantastic. Have always been really passionate about the club, have been as knowledgeable as they try to be and can be, and always want to come over and see the team play. I think that means a lot, and I'm really excited for this American connection that we have now with the Freakins. I know I'm rambling, but that trip was so great to see Goodison one last time. My last experience with Spurs at home, we won. I got to see a score again at Goodison, which I feel like I haven't seen a score goal that wasn't like, oh, we're already losing 4-0. And like Damari Gray put in a corner that went off somebody's butt. Like it was actual good goals. Like it was just great. It was just great to just be there and feel that energy again. I sat in the upper Bullen's, so got to see the Goodison in its pitch in all its glory. Just set out into the sun and that afternoon sun, and it was just great. It's just so fun to watch. So good to be there. And when we went and walked Bramley Moore and looked at this new stadium, it was really surreal to think that Everton were going to play football there. It was really like, I've been going to see Everton play since I was 19. It's 11 years now. And Goodison has always had this magic to me. My first experience was a derby, and I've always held Goodison in such high regard of what it is, this pit of passion, these people surrounded by these 38,000 other people who all want the same thing and are screaming and pining and desperate for the same thing. An Everton goal, an Everton win. And it's really, really special. And I talked with this about somebody at my bar at my work today, that it's just such a special feeling to be in there amongst all those other people, and you're like one collective consciousness. That's like a really dramatic hippie way of saying it, but it's what it is. You're that energy. Everybody is channeling their energy towards the same thing in whatever way they can. And that is success for Everton Football Club. Quinn, what was your best and worst moment from the trip? So we can move on to
my best and worst. My best moment is that we got a little family photo.
Yeah, she pulled it up. Yeah, I'm in the middle. Don't worry, I'm the short one.
You don't look like the short one in the photo.
No, we all look the same height. That's because you've been down
same height.
Yeah, that's nice. It's kind of cool, Rael.
To the camera.
To Sarah Halpin. Yeah, so I'm sorry, say that again because I cut across you.
Oh no, that's Sarah's first professional photo according to Sarah, so that was super fun. But I think best moment was just being at the match, seeing so many people, and obviously getting to be pitch side and take photos is just, it's really fun. Professionally for me, I mean, yes, it's like the club that I support, but I love it. I love taking like athletics like photos. I love working for teams, so that's just a joy in general. And then to get to do that for the club that you support at Goodison, and for potentially the last time, was awesome.
Yeah.
Worst? Well, my worst. What was the question? Just like,
what's your worst? Like, I shouldn't like say worst moment, but like, I'm gonna say worst moment. Just what was
worst moment was my flight out of Manchester getting so delayed that I had to sprint through the Amsterdam airport to catch my flight to Rome. That was not fun.
Guys, she hasn't sprinted in 5 years, so.
I probably looked so unathletic with all my camera gear on my back, wearing
that's a lot. Yeah.
my high top Vans, sprinting from one end of the Amsterdam airport to the other to be the second to last person boarding the plane, as they were like, hurry up, get in here, we're closing the door.
Get your butt in here. I'm sorry, my other flight was delayed. What do you want from me?
Yes, it was wild. So we'll go with that was my worst. It wasn't really in England, but
fair enough. That's fair. That's part of the trip. Yeah. Man, my bet. I mean, honestly, probably just seeing Everton win and getting to hang out with Daddy afterwards and just like have that time to again just see Goodison one last time was probably the best part. It's hard to look over that. My worst. I played football, and I don't think I played very well, so that was probably my worst.
Bummer, being the American, showing up and not playing well.
Hey, you know what I did? Okay, you know what? I take it back. I played great. No, here's the thing. I worked really hard. I ran my butt off. I was proud of that. Rusty didn't trust my touch, and we like I'm not, and it is what it is. Like I have to play better with it myself.
I'm just messing with you.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them. Okay, jeez. And then the next day, Danny and I went on a 5K run with a gentleman named Michael Branch who used to play at Everton I believe in like the 90s, maybe into the early 2000s. I'm not quite sure of his longevity, but he played at Everton for a while, and we went on a 5K run from like, what do they call it? Not the rope works. It's like a path that goes along the Mersey in Liverpool, and you take it through a park, and it takes you to Sefton Park. We did a 5K there, and I beat everybody. I ran past everybody and finished first. So like whatever. I'm heck yeah. Thank you. That's what I
I'm
need.
proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
If my audio and video aren't syncing up right now, just mute. Don't mute me, but just turn off the video so you don't have to see me moving around all janky. Okay, guys. All right, we spent 11 minutes talking about that trip. It took 2 weeks for us to even get to this point. So.
Seriously.
All right, seriously. Okay, we're going to move on to exactly what we all want to talk about. Everton 4, Leicester City 0. Oh, man. Amazing. Okay.
So refreshing. Yes.
So refreshing. Tazul, you're right. David Moyes has given us our Everton back, or at least the start of our Everton back. Quinn, kick us off.
I'll just say it. I tweeted it yesterday, and people have gotten on my case. I was not pro David Moyes coming back, and I concede that it's been amazing having him back. So I concede that I was wrong, although I said that I would back him regardless.
You were what?
I said I'd back whoever.
No, but before that, what'd you say?
My preference. It wasn't my preference.
No, I'm sorry. You're avoiding. What did you say before?
I might have been wrong. Yeah, I might have been. Anyway, it was just. It's been so great. I mean, if you'd have told me we were going to win 3 games on the bounce, I would have been like, this season. At any point, I mean, I would have said that's kind of wild after some of the runs we went on in the fall. So just so great to watch us playing, controlling a game, scoring goals. I mean, yes, scoring a goal in 10 seconds is amazing, but the fact that you have a shot on target that's like a good shot on target that scores is like, oh my gosh, from open play, 4 goals from open play.
We've only been scoring from open play, bar and Dye's penalty. Everything pretty much has been from open play, which is huge.
So huge. And seeing players kind of get a little bit of life back into them and playing with confidence, taking risks. I remember saying to Sarah, like, during the match, I just wish someone would step up and be brave and put their foot through the ball, like, and take a shot. And I just feel like that was yesterday. That happened. And it is just so refreshing to watch.
Yeah.
And to be excited to put on an Everton game.
Yeah, to put on an Everton game, to watch the highlights, to wear like an Everton shirt or a hat again and not feel like, God, I hope nobody asks me about fucking Everton right now. It's like somebody talk to me about this club. Somebody recognize what this is and talk to me right now.
Ask me if I watched the match because I would love to tell you yes.
Yes, I would love. I watched every second 3 times. I watched it all, man. Yeah. It was a fantastic performance. I don't think I'd be able to find a fault with anybody on that pitch. Maybe except Lindstrom should have scored that goal, but whatever. Like, it's okay. I'm not going to get on his case for that.
Tough, but it was his last touch of the game. It
was literally his last touch, and I don't even think he realized it until he turned around, and then he was devastated.
On his face, he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm coming up."
Well, because he knows 100% he should have scored that. That was a goal, and he didn't score, just like Decore's earlier in the game, but he scored as well. So. Yeah, it was just a great performance. The confidence between O'Brien, Branthwaite, and Tarkowski really struck me in terms of them trusting each other with their passing. I think that, and I really don't want to get into any Sean Dyche hate because he's gone. The period's over. It's past it. He did what he needed to do, and he did the right thing for us. And then I think he ultimately made the right decision by telling the Friedkins that he didn't think he could take the club any farther because that was the catalyst they needed to get him out of the club, which is what we needed as a team to be able to push forward this season. So I commend him for his honesty and his frankness, but I do not commend him for his brittle approach to the game because not playing O'Brien at all the whole season, not trusting him.
It's pretty crazy.
It was crazy because you see how well he is slotted in an unnatural position at right back. You see how well he gets himself onto the ball, the confidence he has. He backs himself to get his touches right, to get his passing right. Yes, he made a couple mistakes today and gave the ball away cheaply. The guy's young. It's his his third start in the Premier League. Like he's got plenty more growing to do, and everything we've seen so far has been fantastic. You look at James Tarkowski, he's turned into a different center back since Moyes come in. The James Tarkowski that played under Sean Dyche would not be making, constant cross-field passes across the back four and settling the ball down and taking touches into space when he needs to. Fantastic. Incredible improvement. No more throwing in tackles like he's trying to get a red card in a game. He's playing smarter. He's trusting the people around him. Jared Branthwaite is starting to get back to his best again. He had a fantastic, I can't remember who, I think it was on Jordan Ayew, had a fantastic tackle on Jordan Ayew when he was about to break into space. Like he's just covering up distance so well. Again, the trust that they have is coming back. That trust that we saw last season with Dyche, it wasn't there for a long time this season because the rest of the team could not get to grips with how Sean Dyche wanted us to play, which was not how any team should play in the year 2025. It's just everything really came together in a way that it needed to, and against a team that we needed to win, to not only get ourselves away from relegation, but to really sit in the mindset of this team that we are far better than relegation right now. We are far better than the bottom 4 or 5 places right now, and that we should be looking towards the top half finish this season, because I think we could do it. I think injuries are going to be dependent. We got to be consistent, and we need to actually play some. We have 2 tests coming up right away, Bournemouth and Liverpool. And then who do we have? Somebody difficult right after that. Who's right after Liverpool? Because it's like 3 games in a week. What we have the FA Cup and then 2 league games with this makeup game. Who the heck do we have? I have to double check. Regardless, this is our chance now to really figure out what this season could be. Because yes, we could still get sucked into it so we've got Palace away, and Palace are doing well. They won at United, which everybody's doing these days. But I've been talking. It's just good. Just good to see this. Just good to see this club recover. Good to see David Moyes be able to step up into this spot and come back to this club. And really, again, I think I've heard so many people say it, but this is a different David Moyes. This is not the David Moyes who was bold and brash and had to prove himself for 10 years, 11 years at Everton to get his chance to go to United and get his chance to do whatever he wanted to do. This is a David Moyes who's realized what he can achieve and wants to achieve. He's gone to United and had a difficult time. He went abroad to Real Sociedad and had a difficult time. And now he went to West Ham for 2 spells and had relative success. And if you would ask West Ham fans, you'd probably say he had fantastic success. I don't know if they'd say he's one of their best ever managers because he won a European trophy, but they would probably say that he's a club icon. That David Moyes was somebody who came in and made West Ham better and made them the consistent, even if they aren't like a top 4, top 6 team. These days, he's made them a consistent side who have good players who can play good football. And now they've thrown that away with whatever managers they've decided to hire. We'll see how Graham Potter is. The jury's still out. But I'm very happy to have David Moyes back. And though Quinn was not into it, I was so into it. I would say I was so ready for David Moyes to come back. And it had been close before. This timing felt better than most. And it's just been so nice to have him back. Okay.
I concur. I concur that it's been so nice having him back.
Yes. Seriously. All right. So let's talk about player performances a bit. We're going to pick through. Jordan Pickford didn't have much to do. Another clean sheet. That's 9 in the league now for Pickford. 2nd in the league behind Nottingham Forest's Sells, who has 10. So he's just right there on his coattails. No nervy moments from him. He played everything very well. Anytime a ball seemed like it would get past the back 4, he was there to clean up.
There was that one moment between him and Tarky at the top of the box. I don't know if you remember. There was a little bit of a miscommunication. I think it was towards the end of the game.
And Pickford got it still, didn't he?
Yes. It just was one of those touchy moments.
It's funny to watch. Go ahead.
See them do their little interaction of
Yeah, it's exactly
each other. It's yeah.
I think there was a moment when Patson Daka came on and he got a shot on target. And it was an easy shot, and Pickford took it easy. And the first thing Pickford does is point at James and be like, "You got to do that. And James is like, what? Like, what? Like, he's there. Like, it's fine. It's just Jordan is a firecracker, and that is a great part of his game.
We love him.
Yes, he's an entertainer. He doesn't know he's an entertainer because he's so focused on the pitch, but the guy's an entertainer just as much as he is a fantastic goalkeeper.
Oh, I disagree. I think he totally knows he's an entertainer.
You think he's like, okay, I've got to. Okay, I know the camera's on me because I made a save. I'm going to yell at these guys
Moments
now.
where he like makes that is not a moment. I don't think that was a moment where he thinks about being an entertainer, but I do think there's plenty of moments where he does this little smirk or like a little wink.
Of course, yeah, he's. I mean, but it's well recorded, especially when we play Newcastle.
Yes.
James O'Brien, great again. Played really well. A couple moments where he gave the ball away cheaply. He's playing in an unnatural position. What I really enjoyed, there was a moment where he actually got a chance to kind of break as a right back into their box and try to get a cross in. And he was running onto it, and the defender was running with him. And he had a chance to just throw a ball in, and he didn't. He just touched away from the defender and took it back and then brought it to Gay. But it was just intelligence. Just seeing that intelligence as somebody who watches Everton, it's just nice because there's too often that it would seem like every player who's doing anything near a box just a month ago was just like rushing it, was just doing whatever they could, just getting something in. It didn't matter if there's only one person in the box. Like,
well, it was that, or they just wouldn't do anything with it. It was just passed around the box and nobody make a threatening pass.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So I love seeing him. People have been pulling some parallels to Julian Lescott and Jake O'Brien in terms of being a center half who's playing at a fullback. I would say that's very. I don't know if he'll score as many goals as Julian Lescott did for us, but definitely can see the parallels in that, and that's the David Moyes special right there, is taking a center half and easing them in at fullback, because he's, man, I love. Again, plenty of hard tests coming up. Bournemouth is going to be tough. Liverpool is going to be something else. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere, and I can't wait for that now. Man, oh my gosh. I just thought of a David Moyes derby under the lights. Last Goodison derby. Oh, I have to make sure I don't work that day. All right.
We'll be on vacation skiing, and I told everybody, I'm like, I'm getting off of the mountain. Like, and I'll be for 90 minutes. You will not see me out there, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, I'm going to be going through.
We'll take a break then too. And I was like, I actually don't know if I want to break with all of you. I will be breaking and watching.
This is about to be emotional. All right. Okay. James Tarkowski. Good. Great. Honestly, again, like he's coming to his own since Moyes came back. Quinn, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tarky and Branthwaite look way better now than they have.
Yep.
They are playing well together in general. Like we were saying earlier, you can see that Jared he's getting back to his best. Got some confidence. We love that.
Yeah.
And I think that is feeding Tarky's confidence as well. So it's good to see.
Yep. I think Tarkowski really likes having O'Brien there with him. I don't know. Maybe it's just because he's another center half and he's tall like him. And he's just like, oh, get all the tall guys back here. And he just feels like a unit back there. The one in the middle shepherding these young guys around him. I don't know. It's good. It's good to see. Like it's good to see him back to his best, because I do like Tarkowski a lot. I think he's come in and been a really good servant to this club and been a really good center half for most of his career. Yes, he's had a very tough start to the season, but I almost want to write off the first half of the season because of who our manager was and because of the way we were trying to play. I love seeing him back. And Jared Branthwaite, again, he had a shaky first month or two back. It seems like he's back to his best, covering up where Tarkowski can't, and just making those last-ditch tackles that he's second in last man tackles in the league right now, Jared Branthwaite. Tarkowski, second most blocks, second most clearances, first in headed clearances in the league. Like, I know he's had a tough season, like we said, but again, like he's still contributing in a way that is very, very important for this team.
Yeah.
Yep. Vitaly Mikalenko. I think he's had quite a renaissance under Moyes. What do you think, Quinn?
I totally agree. It's really refreshing to watch him start to play with a little more freedom. I mean, obviously, there's still a few mistakes here and there, but it's not like this crippling, like, oh my gosh, I have to stay back. I'm going to get caught. Like, there's just freedom in his play, which is great. And I think you can tell that there's a little more joy. I don't know if you saw, I saw this maybe a couple hours ago. of someone commenting on his Instagram post and was like, could you learn to like put a good cross in or something like that? And he replied and said, why don't you come to training and teach me? Don't know how like legitimate this was. It was just like didn't look too much into it, but I was like, heck yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
said that to him?
Yes. Now I gotta look it up to make
like
sure.
recently, like on his like last after we won.
Yes. I know. But I just was like, he's got some confidence back. If that is all true that he did actually comment back, I'm like, yeah, he's got
That's
a little
so
bit
frustrating. That's so frustrating to hear. Yeah, I think he's just, again, it's just tactical instruction. You know, these are professional players and they want to be coached, and that's all it really comes down to. And I think Sean Dyche's not coaching these players in the sense that he was not trying to get them to get more out of themselves. He just wanted them to get as much as he could get out of them to get the results that he felt like he needed. And there was no upwards mobility. And I think when you have players, especially like a player like Vitaly Mykolenko, who's he's 26, 27 now, is getting into the prime of his career, he's going to want to try to learn as much as possible. And I think it's been really nice to see him. Again, like, yes, I would say he is somebody that still we need an option for in terms of having somebody else. Because again, there are times when his attacks break down through him. He doesn't always have the best build-up play, but he's a really smart runner, really willing runner. He runs at a consistent level throughout the match. I don't think he ever loses a step of speed. I don't think he ever gets tired. Did you just send it to me? Oh my gosh.
I did.
That's real. That's crazy. Oh, and it was like, hold on a second. Wait a second. Joel Kelly 5901. Joel, we know you. We know where you live. Okay. We're gonna figure that we're gonna deal with this, Joel. Don't worry. Anyways, yep. Thank you, Vitaly, for your sacrifices to this team right now. You know who's next? You know who's next. This is a guy that we just love.
Gosh.
Idrissa Gana Gueye.
He's just so fun to watch when he's playing well. I mean, so fun.
I love the guy. I love him. He's just
his IQ, his football IQ is so high.
Yep, it's gone up. It's gone up, especially as he's gotten older and played more. It's just gone up. He's just gotten smarter and wilier. And he was already smart and wily and like able to like sneak tackles in and sneak passes in and sneak goals in. And now he's just gotten smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. And it's just so fun. And then you know what's even better? The guy loves Everton. The guy loves this club. He loves Everton, has come out on record and said it multiple times how much he loves this club and loves playing for this club. Like, does it get any better, honestly, for us as fans?
Seriously, I'm having an out-of-body experience right now where I'm like, oh my gosh, is this 2025 we're talking? We're like gushing over some of our Everton players right now.
Yeah, like, honestly.
A month ago, it was like, oh my gosh, here we go again.
It's nice. It's nice what winning does, you know?
But yes. Yes.
I mean, winning makes it all worthwhile. Yes, Gana was excellent. I mean, the guy is just a unit. He's unstoppable. Second most tackles in the league. Like, he's just good. Just good and getting better. And he probably has another 2 years at this level. It's why we want to give him another contract, because it's like, why wouldn't we? He's not a guy who relies on his physicality. He's a guy who relies on his intelligence and a guy who relies on his positioning. As Quinn said this earlier, he just gets his angles right every time. Like, has he given away a penalty during his time in Everton? I don't know. He might have, but he's just so good. He's so freaking good. Oh, and then the partnership he had with James Garner.
Oh, welcome back, Jimmy G.
Jimmy G back in the house with the pass of the freaking season.
I mean, unreal. Really, talk about threading a needle. Like, just so good.
Yeah. It was just, I watched that pass and I was like, I haven't seen an Everton player play a pass like that. I don't know, maybe ever. It's been a long, long time. Maybe since Ross Barkley or somebody. Like, he's just, it was crazy. Just love, and he was everywhere, all over the pitch. It was so good to see him back. The guy played such a huge role for us last season, and to see him come back and just get this opportunity now that Mongo is out to make this midfield spot his own. I hope he takes that and continues to get better this season and continues at this form, because it was just great to see him spraying out the ball, to be just part of that midfield too and play it so well. It felt like he just picked up where Mangala left off, if not kind of improved in that position by playing these forward passes a bit more and seeking these defense cutting passes and trying to find ways to get defensive players dragged to him to open up space for other players. It's just awesome. Just really cool.
Yes. And feeding Beto, like playing to his strengths, which I know we'll get to that. Just like so refreshing. I haven't been his biggest fan, but watching us play to his strengths is like, I'm sure no wonder he's been so frustrated. It's like you watch him play so freely and not just be a workhorse like he has been in the past, but be a workhorse, but also scoring 2 goals. It's like, heck yeah.
Scoring makes all the difference for a striker, right? We will get to Beto in a second. We have somebody else that I really, really like that we should talk about. It's Skilliman. I hate the name Skilliman. I really don't. I don't stand for it. I'll just call him Ely or Illiman. But Illiman and Die, another one, man, who's just like, you just think about him and it's kind of like you get like little butterflies. It's like, oh, that guy plays for Everton. It's like,
that's great.
Don't let me do that ever again. But that was.
But it will live on the internet forever.
That's fine. I don't care. There's worse out there, I'm sure. But Quinn, you talk about him. I'm just gonna sit here and sit back and think.
No, because you love him so much. I mean, watching him, there was this little part of me that's like, please flap like a bird after he scored the 4th goal.
I bet he was really tempted to, but he knew he couldn't. It wouldn't have made sense. You don't need to keep going on about Brighton like that, Especially like, how do they watch that every week at Brighton? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's tough. It would be tough. Yeah, it's just so fun watching him on the ball. It's fun, and with other players playing more freely, because I feel like we've talked about that. Like, felt like the whole first half of the season, there's just this like frustration of like, I'm the only one who can do anything with the ball, and just like other people are doing things with the ball. I can do things with the ball. There's this like,
people are getting close to each other. Like,
yeah.
He actually has people he can play with and around and off of, rather than having to try to just win a foul to get us at the pitch. Like that's just the biggest thing. We aren't relying on winning fouls and winning headers and winning throw-ins to be able to get ourselves up the pitch, where it's just one guy trying to do everything for everybody. Now he's got Gay and Garner and Lindstrom and Mikolenko all with him and around him. He's got Beto there with him and around him. He's got Decore with him and around him. I thought
Which
Decore,
is crazy.
I thought Decore had a freaking fantastic game. I also realized I forgot to put him in here.
No one can see it except for you and I.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I think the one crazy thing is like, sure, like Beto hasn't played all those matches, and neither has Lindstrom, but everyone else is the same team that he's been that they've all been playing with, but just this like life that this new life with David Moyes and freedom to play and not just sit back and defend and wait to win, like you were saying, like win free kicks.
That's all it was. Yeah, it's just that they're being given boosts of confidence by David Moyes. They were being given team talks that are built around telling them that they can do things, and not that they can't do things, because if they do those things they can't do, then we lose. You don't get anywhere by telling people they can't do something. You tell them you can do this. You will do this. You have the ability. You have the capability to do this. And Element and Die he embodies that. That man's spirit is, I can do this. That guy never stops running. He chases it. When he loses, I have never seen a player more upset when they lose the ball than Element and Die, because that guy, the second he loses it, he's on that other player's ass. He's like, I want that fucking ball back. It's just like that work rate, and then the skill that he has, the feet, the ability to find space for himself. That you don't see that combination of talent and work ethic very often in players. You don't see, and then let alone it's an Everton player now. He was scoring goals as much as he wants. Like his goal, Leicester switched off. Leicester were totally out of it. They were just kicking the ball into each other's legs, but it was just Illiman just being there like a little gnat, little fly, just always like, I want that ball. That's my ball. No, no, no. Oh, you're going to give me a chance to get it. He gets it, takes it himself, sends the keeper the other way. I was so happy. That was my favorite moment from the game, was Illiman scoring, because I love that man. I love that he's starting to become a player that loves Everton. I don't, God forbid somebody wants to bid 70 million for him in the summer or something. I hope and I reckon what's going to happen is we're going to see a number of players get new contracts. Illiman and Dye will be one of those players. I love him. I love watching him play for this club. I'm so blessed and so happy that he plays for Everton. And I hope that he never has a long-term injury. And I pray to God right now that no long-term injuries for Illiman and Dye. Okay. We're there. We've talked. Okay. Moving on. Jasper Lindstrom.
Yeah, I've loved maybe the one what? Could have done better.
Maybe like 1, 6, 7 out of 10 out of everybody.
Yeah. The final touch of his time on the pitch should have been a goal.
Yeah, it should have. It is what it is. He desperately wants that first goal. He wants it so bad. You can tell. I'm sure he's very upset with himself that he hasn't scored yet this season, which is great. I love to see a player who wants more and expects more from themselves, because that just means that they're working very hard out there and will continue to work hard to keep his place in the team. Jasper does a lot of things that are pretty underrated with this setup that we have. He doesn't have the license to get forward as much or be involved in our attacking play as much, because so much of what we do goes down the left and down the middle, and he plays on the right where he has to provide cover a bit more for Jake O'Brien. But what he does is he wins the ball back. He's tenacious. He's a lot like Illiman and Dye in that he just grafts really hard and does not like to lose the ball. When he loses the ball, he wants to chase back for it. It's just, he should have scored. He wasn't as involved as maybe he would have liked, or in a game where we win 4-0, but he was great. He's going to keep his spot for a while as long as he continues to play at this level of working hard for the team, because that's what this is about right now, is the team working hard for each other. It's nice. All right. Abdoulaye Doucouré. All right. Good goal, 10 seconds in. What did you think of his overall performance?
Much better than average these days, obviously. Yep. Yeah, there were a few. He also didn't he have a sitter that he should have scored as well at one point?
Yeah, he got set up by Mikolenko. It was like the cross was. It kind of like bounced a bit.
Yes.
So he had to judge that flight a little awkwardly. But his biggest issue is that he didn't set his body position well to strike that. Yeah. So he's just leaning back, right? Just trying to, rather than coming onto the ball and striking through it, or hitting it and trying to press some technique on it to get into the top corner, just lean back.
Yeah, that was one of those ones in real time where you're like, oh, bummer. It's probably not as easy. And then you watch it back and you're like, you could have done better,
He could have, but look, it's okay. Honestly, those type of chances he tends to put away more often than not. Like, he tends to put away the harder chances.
Sure. It was really great to watch him score 10 seconds into the game.
Just a chill guy.
Man, it was great. I thought he played way better than he has in the past, which is refreshing. He wasn't this like eyesore in the team.
Yeah. I thought he had some really good touches. Like, again, his passing wasn't as, his passing is his weakest part of the game, honestly. It's not something that he's very good at. I thought he had some very good touches. I thought he did well not to lose the ball that often. But again, like, he plays in a more advanced position where if he loses the ball, okay, we can live with it. What he's really there for is to be that second runner for Beto and to be a guy who can pull defenders away so that there's more space for Beto to run into. And it worked great. I mean, look, our first goal, Doucouré's goal, was him running behind Beto. It was them playing with and near each other, which we didn't see at all with Calvert-Lewin and Doucouré under Sean Dyche. Again, we're going to come back to that, but we have to come back to that because he just had everybody playing so far apart from each other. It was like everybody was on an island. But Beto, it's just a ball from Pickford, super long ball. Beto just sits there and preoccupies the defender in front of him, and Doucouré just runs in behind, and his touch is good enough to take into his space where it's not too close to the keeper, but where a defender can't get it, and it's just a great finish. And it's just good. I'm happy with the way Doucouré played. I'm happy that he's somebody that is going to perform. I'm glad that he got a goal. We know his work ethic is there, and we'll have to see what's the possibility of somebody like this Alvarez kid coming in could be in terms of pushing his position. I don't know because I don't know a lot about that guy.
Me either.
All right, and then Beto, 2-goal Beto. Really
Love
good.
that.
Love to see that man score, man.
And to score in a pivotal time where it's like, hey, not that he hasn't had chances in his time since he got here, but now it's like, hey, you're the man. Like, you are the man with Dom out for however long he ends up being out. And so to step up on like the confidence of being able to put 2 away in your first start after Dom is officially off the books for, well, not off the books, but out, to step up, score 2 goals, play well, have the team play into your strengths. It's got to be good. Like, got to be good for the, like his morale, his confidence, to have him stay, and not leave in this window. Looking up.
Yep. I agree. I think maybe the best thing that could have happened for his Everton career was Dom getting injured because it gave him a chance to actually play. What I really like is that we just played to his strengths. We just gave him the opportunity to not have to jump and try to hold the ball up, which he isn't great at doing. We know that. That's well documented. He doesn't need to be. If we can play in this position where he can play on the shoulder of the last defender and try to time his runs right, and we can get balls in behind, then what we can do is he can start getting shots on target. That makes their defense have to drop farther, which separates their defenders from their midfield. And now we can get players like Ndiaye involved. There's something to this Beto thing. You know, we've got harder tests coming up. Leicester again. I think that was probably the worst defense I've seen in a long time in the Premier League. They were all over the place bad, like just really, and those were their regular defenders too. That was not anybody filling in for the most part. I think that was their regular, and like that Wout phase was horrid defender. Holy cow, he was bad. Blown away by how bad he was. So happy for Beto, 2 goals. That's what matters. As far as the substitutes go, I don't think anybody really did anything. Jack Harrison had a shot on target. Eric Boonham, nice to see him come back in. He looked like he fit right back into what he was doing in midfield at the beginning of the season, just being somebody who was a bit of a driving force, who was strong on the ball, who wanted to get the ball, receive it, and turn and shrug off a defender and then find a pass. He did that quite a number of times when he came on. It's good to see him back.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. So best moment from the match. Favorite moment. What do you think?
Well, you said your favorite moment was Ndiaye scoring.
It was Ndiaye scoring. Yeah, damn straight.
Yeah. I think Beto's second goal, watching, and when Ndiaye scored, I loved watching the guys just be elated for one another. Like watching the celebrations of just like actual, not just like, oh, happy for you, like, sweet, we scored. It's like you can tell that there's like, oh my gosh, relief and excitement of like, we've just scored 3 goals, we've just scored 4 goals, like, and being able to watch that like joy. I keep saying joy because it's just like, it's like a revival on this squad of just
Truly
like,
it is.
so I think that is watching the unity really of the squad after being elated, like pure emotion after scoring 4 goals.
I mean, look, these are professional footballers. They want to score goals. They want to win games, and we weren't doing a lot of that for a long part of the season. It was very frustrating for them.
Yeah.
You could see it. They were struggling with confidence, struggling to believe that they could do anything and affect games, and it's really just been this. David Moyes says he's not a magician, but he's kind of turned out to be a bit of a magician right now, working his magic over the squad. And
there were a few other moments too where you catch, like, I don't know, maybe it was the moment where Jake O'Brien cut the ball back in when he was pushing up, cut the ball back to Gay. But you see, like, on camera after, like, a camera pans him and he's like smirking and like joking with someone. It's just like, That has so not happened in games recently, where you've got guys, like, actually engaging with one another and, like, able to, like, crack a joke or, like,
Yeah,
give
pushing each
props.
other.
I don't it's like
Mhm.
it's just so nice to see.
Teams just coming together again, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, so my favorite moment was in Dye scoring. Yeah, just a quick moment. How bad were Leicester? They're awful, just
They
awful.
were so yeah, they look
Ian said it great here. Just they were shocking. They were really bad. So I don't think Van Nistelrooy will last too much longer there. I think I couldn't believe his appointment when it first happened. I was blown away that I could not believe it. I could not believe they hired Ruud van Nistelrooy. I like that their owner must have been like a United fan growing up and loved him as a striker. I don't know. Like it was just crazy to me. Yeah, I still can't get over that.
yeah.
You
Yeah, it's
think
not looking
you think Sean Dyche goes in there?
oh, man, I don't think so.
It's going to be Steve Cooper. No, they already had Steve Cooper. No.
Sean Dyche is probably like, "I need a vacation."
Yeah,
For the
because
next
he's not getting nearly as much money as he thought he would off us.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
he literally said he couldn't do his job.
Mhm.
Uh, um, all right, and my final question. This will kind of segue us into our next small topic of discussion before we do some Q&A and head out of here. Do you think we're safe now? We are 9 points above relegation.
I do think we're safe, because I think if we've got goals back in our side, which it looks like we do, it's great, and the bottom 4 just looks so much worse.
They do.
I do think Wolves could dance back and forth like I do, but, man, everybody else
Yeah.
does not look great.
Yeah, the Wolves won, right? And it was the thing is that it was a derby that they played against Villa. That's a derby, this Black Country derby. I think it's what they call it. It's derbies are kind of one-hit games almost. I think Wolves will dance the line. I do ultimately think they'll stay up because I do think that Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton are just that much worse than everybody else.
Yeah.
Southampton and Leicester, like Southampton being Ipswich was great to me. I love that because that dropped Ipswich's confidence a bit. It kept us, I think 10 points above them now. So it's just good to again for the squad, for this team to build that separation from this doldrums we were existing in for so long. Of like and really it's a mindset thing and why I think in my opinion why Sean Dyche needed to leave more than any other reason because Sean Dyche his mentality was fighting relegation. This is what we're doing is we're fighting relegation. We are nothing better than a team fighting relegation right now.
We talked about that, how he comes
Yes.
into the beginning of the season and says that, and it's like, I've already gone on my rant of how we forget that we had a 10-point deduction last season. Like,
and could have finished top half, honestly. Like it
just drives me nuts.
I know.
Wolves can win some games that the others won't ultimately.
Yep. Yeah, they've got a good enough squad. I would like to see somebody like Matthias Cunha at Everton. That would be awesome, but I'm not going to hold out too much hope. All right. Well, our next topic of discussion, really our last one for the night, is the upcoming FA Cup match against our evil, cursed voodoo side, Bournemouth. God, I don't even hate Bournemouth the way I don't like I hate Leicester because they don't. Well, I don't know. I did curse them with the Sean Dyche curse, but they don't seem to be affected by that. They lost to Liverpool, which everybody is doing these days. It is a popular thing to do is to lose to Liverpool with a whimper. They have a few players who are really stepping up this season. Look at Kluivert, not quite sure how to say his last name. They have the striker that they've Ivan Nielsen has played fairly well. Semenyo is a very good quality target or good quality player for them. The thing I want to ask you, Quinn, is do you think that how serious should we take this game?
I do think it's worth. It's so tough because it's kind of like that don't mess with a good thing. Like we're playing well, we're starting to get some rhythm.
Yep.
And we have quite a few spots where we are very, very, very thin on players where it's like, yeah, a rest or just not the risk of injury is worth sitting. So I would say probably somewhere in the middle where you don't want to change change the game so much or change the team so much, but also there are people who need a break.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I reckon that it'll be a pretty strong lineup because what I think my mindset, and one that I'm hoping that David Moyes kind of shares, is that we have 1-3 on the bounce.
Yep.
And put ourselves in a position where we are much farther away from relegation than we were a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think because of that, I would hope that David Moyes says, well, we know that we can get the results in the league that we need to be able to stay up. That is the main objective for this season, is to stay up and finish as high as we possibly can now. Why not go on a cup run?
Yes.
Why
I'm so
not?
sick of not having a cup run.
But exactly, why not? Like, and what I really hope that David Moyes wants to do during his time back here at Everton is win a damn trophy. I hope that the only thing in his mind is I need to make sure I win a trophy for this club. I hope yes, Everton ladies beat Leicester. Yeah, I would love to I would love to see David Moyes win a trophy for this club, because that would be the most beautiful moment. It would be fantastic, and what it would be the true catalyst for this club being able to move forward and start to make it a habit of winning silverware and becoming a winning club. I really hope that David Moyes sees this cup game as an opportunity to put out a very strong squad. I hope that players like Branthwaite, Pickford, Mikolenko, Gay, and Dye all start. I really think we should have a very, very strong. I mean, the only players I could imagine dropping, maybe you drop like a Tarkovsky or even O'Brien Tarkovsky or Branthwaite, and move O'Brien over and bring in an Ashley Young. I don't really want to start Michael Keane, but I could see that happening. I don't think it will. I don't know how much David Moyes truly likes Michael Keane, to be fair, but I really think Ghana has to start. I would imagine, but if he goes Iroegbunam and Garner, I wouldn't be too surprised. We'll see how that actually works. I think that would be tough. And Dye has to start. Beto, I think, should start. I don't know who else would start, honestly, instead of him. I don't know. I really hope we go strong and try to win this game and try to go on a cup run. The only thing is, I mean, then we have the derby in 4 days, so it has to be where is his mind going to be? Do I care more about this last Goodison derby, or do I care more about seeing if Everton can get to Wembley and win a cup? I don't know. I hope he goes strong, and I hope that he can go strong against Liverpool as well, and that it's the good thing is he has a lot of time to put a plan together for both games. And I trust David Moyes to have a solid plan for both games that will include rotation for both games. So, yeah, beat the Bournemouth and Liverpool for 5 in a row. Yeah, and taking 6 points off them. You want to take 6 points off Liverpool? I would love to win at Anfield again. That would be nice. I'd love to go to Anfield and see us win. That would be even better. Honest to God, one day that will happen, and that will be a top 5 moment of my life, just to go there and ruin their day. It would be great.
Yes.
Do you want to do an early prediction for Bournemouth?
Gosh, I go back and forth on whether it's like 3-1 or 1-0. I think we win.
Yeah.
So that's a tough response. I do. Even though they are like the bogey team that we never seem but not never. We beat them
We beat them in the cup
game of last season, yeah.
And we beat them, and then we beat them at home when Decore scored that goal last game of the season to stay up. Look, I totally think we could beat them. I think we have a much better chance of beating them at home because we've already proven under Sean Dyche that we can put 2 goals past them at home. So I reckon we could probably do quite similar under David Moyes. I'd hope we could. Yeah, I definitely think we can beat them. I hope that they maybe decide to put out a weaker lineup and rotate, because maybe they want to try to get European football more than they want to win this cup. I don't know. I would just love to see us win it. I'd love to see us win this game and win the cup, obviously, but just starting here. So my prediction, I think 2-0. My heart says 2-0. My head is going to say 2-0 as well with my heart today. I just hope we can win. That's it. I always want us to win, but I really want us to go on a cup run. I think that would be, and I would love to get just to get a couple more games at Goodison, honestly. Because after this, it'd be two more games and then a semifinal at Wembley. If we could just even get just one more game at Goodison, again, that would be awesome. Especially if it was like the quarterfinal, that would be awesome. Goodison, and there's so many beautiful things about Goodison. But Goodison and the Lights in a quarterfinal to go to Wembley, beautiful. Well, we are on to the last portion of our show. It is our Q&A. Quinn knows the questions. Hopefully, she knows her answers. Our first question is based off a small rumor I saw today. Jack Harris has been linked to a move to Fulham. Would you let him leave this window, or is he still worth having around? Quinn, let us know.
I feel like he's still worth having around. It would be interesting to see how David Moyes uses him. And it's not like we're getting, like, it's not like we're selling him in the window, you know? Like,
he's not our player.
That's where it's like, what harm? In my mind, I'm like, what harm does it do keeping him around to see if David Moyes could get anything out of him?
Yep. I would agree. The window closes tomorrow, and he's not our player. I would imagine that deal would be fairly complicated in terms of compensation and such. So I can't imagine that it would be something that is really viable. I am happy to keep Jack Harrison around and to see what he offers. What I liked when he came on was that he got put looked like on the left right away. Awesome. Amazing. Already great improvement playing him on the left where he's can play in his natural winger role. I'm cool with it, man. Yeah, just keep him around. It would be too much to get rid of him, and let's just see what he can do. I think, if we're safe, we don't need to sit here and try to be too fancy with anything and just keep moving on. All right. Do we need to be signing a striker for the short term? I'm going to say no. I think based off the fact that Calvert-Lewin's injury is not as bad and that Broha doesn't seem like he's going to be leaving, I think Beto is good enough in the short term over the next month to month and a half, to hopefully not 2 months, to be able to be our striker. And if something else happens, and David Moyes has already talked options like Ndai and even Michael Keane up top. So, I don't see why we would, unless something incredible came our way that we were just like, well, we have to get him on loan. I just can't imagine.
Yeah, it's just really hard for me to say no, unless I could guarantee that Beto's not going to get injured. Like, we need somebody else in my mind, but like you said, the window closes tomorrow, so odds are Beto it is, and all of our injured, crippled strikers along with him.
Yep. I just think that the fact that Moyes has kind of talked about PSR means that there probably just isn't a scenario where we can get a striker in on a permanent. And anybody who don't know who that would be, Evan Ferguson is going to West Ham, so it didn't really seem like there's any others that would be capable. The Awoni from Nottingham Forest has been one we've been linked with. I don't know. I think the guy scored like 6 and 45. We don't really need a striker who can't score. Look, I would rather the club. I know it sounds bad. I would rather the club take the gamble and not sign a striker and sign somebody to play out wide, or even like a fullback. I think like a left back. I know we were linked with the Rene left back earlier today. I would rather us focus on that than a striker, because I do think that Beto will be fit enough and stay fit enough to play. And if not, then maybe Decore can play up top. Who knows? I'm joking, guys. Jeez. All right, last question. What was our best and worst eating experiences when we were back in the UK? Quinn was only there for 48 hours, so she gets to go first.
Yeah, because only being there for 48 hours. Not a lot of options on either side, but I got dinner at Mowgli and loved it. It was great.
Mowgli.
Some good old Indian food. Worst, didn't really have a worst. Everything I had was pretty good. I mean, you
didn't have like a crappy cup of coffee or like a really cheap pastry that you paid too much for? Did you get anything at Rococo?
My brain is like, but I just got coffees, but they were good. Just little macchiatos.
Macchiato.
I'm like trying to remember what I even ate.
Wow.
I had Mowgli the first time I got there. It was
Mhm.
fine. Great. And then didn't really just got coffee on didn't get breakfast on Wednesday morning. Did we do breakfast on Thursday? No, I met Kyle and we got coffee and then we went and ate lunch. So
We did Nando's. Yep.
yeah, I don't even remember what I did before the match. What did we do before the match? Did we eat?
Did I eat before that match? I think I did. What did I get?
We went to lunch.
I got
Anyway.
chicken and I got chicken and curry and stuff with Danny from like Goodison Supper Bar or whatever. Yeah. There's a couple places I tend to go to every time I go to Liverpool. There's a place on Bold Street, and typically I like Bold Street a lot because there's a lot of really nice variations of food options. And then I like Albert Schloss, that big beer hall, a lot because they have a really nice like cocktail program and they make their own schnapps. And I like to go in there and see the different things they have, and they're passionate about what they do, even if it's still like a one of those big UK corporation breweries sort of style things. The pho place was so good. It's always so good every time. It's a pho place. I think it's just called Pho. It's on Bold Street. It's fantastic. I took Quinn. She said that it was really subpar, and I ended up punching her in the face. We don't tell people about that, but no, it's such a good experience. It's one of the few places in town I feel like I can get like fresh juice and stuff. Like that's the one thing I miss when I go to the UK is I can't really find a good place to do like a good like smoothie. I know I sound very American when I say that, but like a good like green smoothie, a good healthy smoothie. But that's okay because I still love the food that I go there for. Went to a Turkish place with Danny or Sri Lankan place on County Road that was really I think it was called Lion. That was really good. Worst eating experience. My mate Danny and I we went to a like 8th division like Northwest Counties game between Pilkington FC and Stockport Town, and I got a pork pie there. And I bit into it, and I looked at the pork in there, and it was all pink, and it had all these little bits of fat and gristle in it. And I was like, oh, I have to eat this now. And I was so hungry, and I ate it all. But I was just like, that is not. But I typically go and get like a nice steak and kidney pie. I didn't even get like a nice pie this time around. And
Did you get your Greg's?
I did. I never got Greg's. I never got Greg's either. I couldn't commit. There was never a moment where I was like, oh, I feel like, because I felt pretty sick a lot of that trip. I won't lie. I also got bit by bed bugs at the hostel. So, like,
oh gosh.
Yeah, I know. That's
that is tough.
All right. Well, you've heard about our food. You've heard about all the stuff here that we have to talk about with Everton. Anyways, last note on DCL because we had some comments on DCL. Yeah, I don't think he's staying past this season. I think he still wants to move on. Maybe, and good luck to him if he does. I would love for us to sign Liam Delap, regardless of whether Ipswich stay up or not. I would love for us to sign Liam Delap. I think that is like right there. That is a ready-made striker for us as a team, as a club, for what he is. Presses hard, good goal scorer. That's what I want. Liam Delap. Who ate all the dodgy pies? I don't know. Probably you, Ian. But no, it's okay. I only ate one. All right. That's all we have time for tonight, folks. Is we got to be up early for work. Thank you for joining us tonight. And should be back next week. We'll figure out a time. It's probably going to be Sunday night again because that seems to be where we land most weeks.
Yeah, during the Super Bowl.
Do you want to watch the? Oh, it doesn't matter if you want to watch it or not. Everybody else will watch it.
Yes, that was my point. But that's okay. We'll talk. We'll sort it out.
We'll figure out another day. We can't do it on Super Bowl Sunday, unfortunately. Super Bowl Sunday is basically like a religious holiday here, guys. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all very much for listening. This show will be out on Spotify and streaming platforms as well if you did not get to see it or just want to hear our voices again, because we have some really soothing voices here. And we hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night and up the toffees. You're not going to say anything, Quinn? You're not going to say up the toffees? That's great.
The toffees. I didn't know if you were going to.
I wanted you. All right. That's it. We're done. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.